Okay, so for the vessel with the lid, you need to come over prepared. You need to be at a point where you believe that you can throw the vessel itself and possibly the lid in the same day. That's ideal. It's not a necessity, but I would suggest coming over with a lump of clay for the vessel itself and another wedged up chunk of clay to crank out a little bit of a lid if you can. But we are going to use calipers today to measure, and so that could be something that you keep. But it is just imperative that you get the measurement for the top of the rim the day that you throw it and hang on to that, because the clay shrinks so quickly that measuring it on day 2 is not going to be accurate enough. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. So the vessel itself can kind of be anything you want. It can be a bowl. It can be something that looks more like a vase. That's up to you. But you are going to leave the rim. The rim has some kind of specific instructions that I'll show you. Remember to, as you guys are throwing, this motion of going up and back down, that is wedging the clay for you. It's really helpful. I feel like sometimes people believe that the measure of success is getting it. If you just put your hands on it and you can get it centered just right away like that, that means you're cool or something. And that's not necessarily the case. When you are coning that up and pushing it back down, it's really helpful for the clay. There's lots of different ways to do a vessel with a lid. I'm going to show you just one way. There's lots of things that you'll see on YouTube if you care to look it up. You're welcome to try whatever. This is just the one way I'm showing you guys for the lid. I'll give you some reminders on this too. Don't forget to, once you open, go ahead and compress that. So take your sponge and just kind of squeegee across the floor of the vessel. That helps prevent from S-cracks. Now what I'm going to do is be extra careful about leaving the rim not so thick that it throws it off center, but a little extra thick. I don't want to thin that out right away. So I'm not necessarily going to pull up and all the way through the rim. There's a happy medium though. You don't want to leave it super thick, but I'll show you why. You just need a little extra amount up there for this type of lid that I'm going to show you. I'm just kind of leaving a little extra right there. Don't forget the power. Whoops, I just dented it. The power of the rip tool. That helps even up walls. And also if you get any kind of little wobble in them, what I provide is just this channel where the clay has to go. And that helps fix any little quirks that you got going on. And it also just smooths things out, makes them pretty. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to take my turning tool and just cut in a little bit of extra down here. That's going to allow the bottom to dry out a little closer to the rest of the vessel. Put that in. Okay. I'm going to get extra water out of the base. Now I'm going to prepare this rim for a lid. So what I'm going to do is flatten this out. So I'm kind of pushing down with my one finger and giving myself a flat space to work with. And it's also pressing the clay down a little bit. Now, you guys can use a tool for this. I like to use just the edge of my thumbnail. My nails are really short. You don't need anything special here. I'm going to very carefully place my right hand on the outside and kind of split this rim in half. And just start carving that down. I'm not trying to remove clay. I'm just instead pushing that little layer down further than the outside. You can use, like I said, any kind of tool. If you come up with something, you could use the edge of your turning tool. I just find I have better success keeping this, just my thumb, in control a little bit more. I don't trust any tool more than I trust my own hands. Okay, now I'll take this up for you to see, so you can see that channel there. I'll show the camera, but you guys can kind of see what I did. It doesn't have to be massive. It just needs to have a little bit of a ledge. Okay, now that rim is really messy, so I'm gonna put my sponge very carefully around it, carefully so that I don't undo that little ledge, but enough to just kind of smooth that out and make it look prettier. Now, this is going to be where we measure. So I'm taking my calipers here, and it's got two sides to it. Excuse me. I'm going to use the part of the calipers that go out, and I'm going to measure inside of that little channel I created as close to the ledge as I can get without damaging the rim, of course. There. This does have a little screw deal right here where you can tighten that wing nut or whatever it's called. So that's going to tighten that up so I don't lose that measurement. Okay, this is the measurement I was talking about. It's important that you have this the day that you throw this, that you get it measured. Whether or not you fit the lid in that time frame or not is fine, but just keep your calipers with you until the next day when you get to get to throwing that lid. Okay, so I'm gonna pull underneath this part of the